I'm Pounders, and thank you for questing with me today. I did an interview last week with a girl named Jillian Stone, and she was talking about the marine kingdom and mermaids and all that stuff. Well, TikTok overheard that conversation, so when I turned on TikTok and started scrolling through the brain rot, everything that came up were mermaid videos of people allegedly seeing mermaids. And so I just downloaded all those videos, and I'm going to react to them because, man, oh man, there's a wealth of videos out there. I've got collected the best ones that I can find, and so we're gonna have fun with it.
Hey y'all, Myra here. So we've all seen this documentary, Mermaid, The Body Found, released by Animal Planet a little over 10 years ago. There's a specific clip that I absolutely love, other than the submarine one, which is down in the feed. But this one, in which the group of fishermen are pulling in their haul, and it looks like they caught something in there. Its hand reaches out. You see the webbed hand, the fingers. I think this one's amazing. Do I believe there's mermaids? Yes. Do I think they're Disney mermaids? Absolutely not. Don't believe that they're Disney mermaids. I think they're more fishy, like, I don't know. But tell me what you guys think. I think this is still amazing to this day. I love this documentary, whether people believe it or not, or think it's fake. I think that parts of it were legit, and there's certain things that you can't fake. So tell me what you think. Like, post, repost, comment. Are mermaids real? Is this a mermaid?
That would be the end of my job as a fisherman if that happened to me. To me, the video looked real up to a certain point. Then it looks like maybe it could have been manipulated by AI or edited or anything like that. I don't know because I don't have the metadata for this video, but it's interesting nonetheless. And I don't want to discount every video I see because it would be the perfect time for these creatures to reveal themselves right now with AI being so popular, because almost anything can be discounted as AI anymore. That mermaid looked like something from a movie, but I can't put my mind on what movie it is. All you sleuths out there, if that mermaid looks familiar to you, find it for me in the movie because that looked real. It looked like either the video seemed real, like 100% the video seemed real, but the creature itself, whether or not that's real or not, I don't have any idea, but that looked real. That looked amazing. All I know is if I ever found something like that in the ocean, ever in my life when I went to the beach or anything, I would never be in that water ever again. I mean, for real, that is creepy, man, because something that streamlined for water that can just grab you and take you down or do whatever it wants to do, that is scary.
Book of Enoch says mermaids are cursed fallen angels. Modern theories claim their DNA holds regenerative powers. Billionaires eat their flesh to steal it. Here's the science behind this madness. Why is mermaid DNA called divine? Book of Enoch says mermaids are hybrids of humans and fallen angels. They're cursed with immortality, but also regenerative traits. Divine DNA lets them regrow limbs like salamanders, except much faster, much more accelerated. Salamanders use genes like EYA2, just like Sonic the Hedgehog. This is what regrows and regenerates limbs. Mermaid flesh accounts allege that they have similar genes, but supercharged like a celestial upgrade to nature's code. Mermaid meat allegedly floods humans with retinoic acid, the substance that's found in embryos and stem cells. It's what triggers epigenetic rewiring, giving the billionaires incredible youth, strength. Consumption activates dormant pathways in the human system, allowing them to tap into the junk DNA. The divine euphoria that they all talk about is possibly linked to BMP7 proteins for tissue regrowth, but also can cause euphoria. directly interact with human neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine. Labs allegedly want to extract mermaid stem cells to market. Allegedly, at these eyes wide shut rituals, diners experience rapid wound healing and psychedelic visions. This is fascinating. There is a mermaid syndrome where human babies are born with it, this gene mutation, and it's lethal. What timeline are we in that this could be true?
So here's what she was talking about in Enoch. It's in 1 Enoch 19:2, and it says that the wives of the angels became sirens. So if you guys don't know that story, it ties back to Genesis 6, where it says the sons of God came to the daughters of women and had children with them. And in Isaiah, it also mentions sirens being in the wastelands and stuff. So is it possible that this is one of the secrets that they talk about in the occult? I think it's very possible. Whether or not it's real or not, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me that much, to be honest with you. The way you see some of these actors that look like they have a body double from like 100 years ago or even like 500 years ago, some of them even older than that look exactly the same, and they're also relevant people at the time. So it makes you wonder. Give me like 30 seconds to tell you about Nano Extreme Pain Cream. This is a sponsor that I picked up. When they first asked me almost a year ago, I declined, and I didn't use their sponsorship code because I thought that it was just another pain cream and it's probably not going to work that well. Not something I can get really excited about. Well, they gave me a free sample, and one day when my carpal tunnel was acting up, which it hurts sometimes really, really bad, I tried it on there, and within seconds, that pain that I experienced sometimes for 3 days was absolutely gone. And I instantly was like, okay, now I'm definitely down to sponsor this, because I don't want to sponsor things that I don't believe in, guys. But if you want to try this out, there's a link in the description. There's 2 codes that you can use. You can use one or the other. There's one for free shipping, and there's one for $8 off. You guys can pick it. They're in the description. Try it out and let me know what you think. A lot of you already have, and you said very good things. So I'm happy. You're happy. Let's check it out and see what you guys think.
There was this French ecologist named Philippe Garnier. Now, he went down to the Congo, Africa, on this research expedition. And he said he was going down the Congo River to this area where a lot of people have not been before. And he said one of these fishing villages that he came upon, he was going to stay there for like a couple weeks. And he said there were missionaries there who like helped out this tribe and helped him communicate with them. Well, one of the things that he first notices when he gets to this area is that there are all these crosses right next to the river. And so he asked one of the missionaries, like, what is the meaning of these crosses by the river? And he says, well, you see, this tribe here, they believe in what they call the Ninibi. And he said the Ninibi are like these they call river water people who are similar to, in other cultures, like mermaids. And he said they believe that they live in the deep parts of the river. And he said, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, they will appear as what you desire to lure you into the water and take you. And he said these people believe that several of the villagers were taken by them, and they are very afraid of them. So he says, you know, it just sounded like a crazy fabricated story or whatever. So he said at this time, after he got done talking to the missionary said, hey, I want to give you this cross, you know, and stuff. And so he takes the cross, he puts it on. And he said, you know, after a couple of days spending time with this tribe, he realized that they were really terrified of these like water river people. And he said one night he went to bed in this hut next to the river, and he remembered it was storming really, really bad. And he said it just kind of kept him up. He couldn't sleep. And then when he finally got to bed, he said he started to have this dream. And he said in this dream, this beautiful woman appeared in his room. And he said she was completely naked. She had this blank stare on her face. And he said she was just moving her shoulders like kind of back and forth. And he said she walked over to the side of where he was sleeping, and she started to rub his face. And then he said after that, they became intimate. And he said during this time, he started to notice she was changing. And all of a sudden, this beautiful woman turns into this decrepit corpse. And he said, you know, she had these long, dangly fingers with black nails, sharp black teeth. She had eyes that were like hanging out of the sockets. And he said, you know, it was just the most terrifying thing he had seen. And he said, you know, like when you thought of a mermaid, you thought that it had like this single tail. But he said this woman had both legs, but they looked very aquatic-like. And he said the next thing he remembers is one of the villagers is yelling at him. And he realizes he's not in the hut. He's actually outside next to the river, getting ready to step into the water. And he said right at that moment, there was a flash of lightning and it illuminated the entire river. And he sees the shadow of what appears like something in the water, and it jumps down and splashes. And he said, it was just this really terrifying experience. And he said throughout his times being there, he said at night you could hear whatever these were screaming. And he said it was just probably the most scariest thing you could imagine. And the fear in these villagers' eyes, like, he could tell whatever this was something real.
If that thing has shape-shifting abilities, then I'm surprised it hasn't taken everybody in the whole town by now. It reminds me of this thing they call the hag stone, and you guys know that, like, mermaids, a sea hag is another name for a mermaid, and it's said that if you find the hag stone, it has a circle in it, and if you look through the circle and you look out into the ocean, you're able to actually see the creatures. And so I don't know if any of you guys have ever found a hag stone. Let me know in the comments if you have, because I've never found one, but if I do, I'm probably going to look through it and just see.
This woman swam with a mermaid and got it on camera. Check this out.
I saw dolphins in the back of me, so I'm trying to look through my photos, right? And I see that I know that's a dolphin because I saw them behind me. There's me. And then I look over to the side because I'm trying to see a dolphin, and
that's not a dolphin. That is a human head.
Is that? Like, seriously, what in the hell?
There's no way.
The hell is on?
This is the type of thing that makes me believe in mermaids. Even to this day.
I know there's a dolphin right there.
Yep.
Dolphin. Mermaid.
Mermaid. Stay weird, y'all. What do you think?
I don't know, bro. Like, in my opinion, that could be literally almost anything. It looked like a buoy. I mean, it wasn't clear enough to really see anything. So, and if it was something, it could have been a person chilling behind the buoy. It looks like she's out there on a surfboard. It wouldn't be unreasonable to think that that happened too. But I don't know. I got to see something better than this to think that that would be a mermaid.
There are rumors that dinosaurs are still alive and that the government are keeping them enclosed on islands like this one. And people say this goes all the way back to the 90s when they first were able to clone sheep. We didn't hear about it for a long time, and that the government took that technology and were actually able to recreate dinosaurs similar to how they did on Jurassic Park. Now, fishermen that actually travel these waters are posting about these areas that they're not supposed to go in. They even go as far as to mention that some of their compasses and navigation equipment go haywire when they get near these areas. Now, keep in mind, there's no facts to back this, and it's just a rumor based upon people posting videos like this. Now, is it possible that instead of dinosaurs being on this island, or islands like this one, that this could be the home to failed government experiments? Just like the MK Ultra experiment that inspired Stranger Things. Apparently they created real creatures and got rid of them, but could there be more experiments that have gone wrong and they house these creatures on this island?
If you guys are familiar at all with some of the research that I've done, there's definitely islands like this. There's whole continents like this that we're not allowed to explore. There's a certain parallel you're not even allowed to breach with a vessel. I mean, there's any number of things that could be on this island, but if you think about it, all of the stuff that we've done in cloning, to think that there's not some billionaire out there that wants to figure out how to prolong his life by taking his consciousness and putting it into a clone, I think it would be naive to think that that doesn't happen somewhere on these remote islands that nobody's getting to.
But this is supposed to be a mermaid. And again, I don't know if it's real or not. It's insanely creepy. There's quite a bit of footage, and this to my knowledge is relatively new. I really haven't seen this video circulating around a lot.
To me, that looked like a real video, but you never know with Sora 2. But it could look like it could have been a lady in a costume trying to swim with that. They make realistic mermaid type things that you're supposed to be able to swim with. So that's what it looked like to me. And I wouldn't trust any fairly new videos on anything, but it's interesting to look at, and there's so much interest surrounding these mermaids. It's crazy.
Did y'all know that it was a tribe that was at war with mermaids, like a supernatural war? And the people were literally terrified of these supernatural creatures? Let's talk about it. So the tribe is called the Rele tribe, or some might call them the Mercy people that lived in Ethiopia. Members of this tribe have talked about how basically everyone is terrified of these mermaids. Yes, like real life mermaids. These people don't think that these are mythical creatures. These are real life things that's really going on over there. And they discussed how basically they are afraid that they might make the mermaids angry and the mermaids might take their family. Because you got to think, when the people are going to the river to wash clothes or to wash themselves and to get drinking water and stuff like that, they have to go to these rivers, and they're terrified that the mermaids will get them and take their family underneath with them. And something that was very interesting that I watched on the interview, and I'm going to tag the person below that showed the interview on here, they discuss how they only take the navel, so the belly button, and the tongue. So I don't know what that symbolizes, but basically if you see a body out there and it's missing a tongue and a navel, they know that the mermaids got a hold of them. But yeah, they talk about how they try to stay away from them and how they just really are like terrified of these creatures, and that they're not like Ariel and the mermaids that we know and love. And I just find it so crazy how there's always different variations to these creatures. But yeah, to them, these creatures is nothing mythical, sweet, and pretty. They are terrified of them. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'm gonna tag the person with the full video below of the people of this tribe discussing how terrified they are of these mermaids.
I tend to trust some of the tribesmen stories because they're relating it to something that does go on in their area, but that could easily be some kind of crazy serial killer or something that likes to kill his people and do that to them for some reason or another. I don't know exactly why a mermaid would want to do that, but I know that in the Little Mermaid movie, for instance, I think Ursula wants to get the person's voice, and maybe this is part of, like, maybe they got that from real lore. I don't really know, but interesting nonetheless. If you want to learn more about the Marine Kingdom, I would definitely suggest going and checking out that interview I did with Jillian. It's really, really awesome. She did a really good job of explaining it, and there's other people out there that talk about this Marine Kingdom as well. And knowing what I know about our history, how well it's been covered up, it doesn't surprise me, and it wouldn't surprise me if there were things underneath the water that we don't know about and we don't quite understand or see. Thank you guys for questing with me. Pound the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.